Maverick News, the antivirus program for your mind. And now, the Freedom Reporters.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Maverick News channel. Big night tonight. Breaking news. It looks like Hezbollah has launched rockets straight at Israel. This all happening as we speak. Breaking news. Let's bring in Kevin Michelizzi, direct from Crimea. Hello, sir. How are you tonight?
Hello, doing good.
I say tonight, but it's very early morning for you again.
Yeah, well, I'd normally be asleep, so it's still night for me.
Yeah, so we have breaking news, as I say, out of Lebanon. It looks like some rockets coming straight out of there toward Israel tonight. We'll dig into that. We'll talk about what might be happening with Iran. We'll talk about the debate about the debate, debating the debate dates with Kamala and Trump, as Kamala taunts Trump. So yeah, a lot of that stuff to talk about tonight too.
Clowns are us.
And yeah, and we'll try and maybe get a little info out of you on the Ukraine special military operations side too. So stick with us, folks. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Lots to get into tonight. We'll bring you right up to date.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow, maybe too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Let's get right to this video, Kevin, because this is fresh. It's breaking news. 50 rockets reported as having been fired from Lebanon straight at Israel. The Iron Dome intercepting, or so it appears.
Just an hour ago.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Here we go, another angle. Different location. As long as the Iron Dome's intercepting things, it's just a fireworks display. But if anything gets through, it's a much more serious situation. And that's what happened when Iran launched the retaliatory strike some months ago now. What do you make of this?
Well, you know, everybody's retaliating against each other for retaliating against each other. So, you know, I have to question if it's really a retaliatory strike tonight, considering they launched a rocket at a settlement as a retaliatory strike 2 days ago on, August 2nd. So that was, I don't know what time that was, but they targeted the settlement of Metsova with dozens of Grad missiles on Thursday. So, and that was supposedly in retaliation for the attack on southern Lebanon. So I don't know, you can only retaliate so much. It's two bullies, seeking each other out and beating each other and hoping that it doesn't get worse. But I'm just afraid things are going to get worse.
They just keep getting worse. Here, this is a multi-camera feed, live feeds from various locations in the Middle East, northern Israel. Everything looks quiet at the moment, but it was just an hour ago that those rockets were intercepted. But that's what the skies look like tonight. Now, we've been hearing those since those assassinations that Iran is going to retaliate. We're going to retaliate. We
Yeah.
mean it. We
And then,
really mean it this time. But
and then Israel will retaliate again. Yeah.
so we keep hearing that it's imminent. I did say, I think it was 2 days ago, I said, from everything I'm seeing, it looks like we'll get some sort of response out of Iran within the next, at that point, 72 hours or so. And so far, nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Iran will do something. The big hope I have for Iran is they tend to be a little more thought out and careful than like Hezbollah. Uh, you know, lobbing 50 missiles at Israel is kind of a risky thing, and
Yeah.
they apparently weren't looking to hit military targets.
Yeah. So all of that talk, I mean, I'm seeing tough talk from the United States too, right? They're threatening to, well, this hasn't received much media play over here, but there's been a resolution introduced by Senator Lindsey Graham, a joint resolution, essentially calling for the U.S. to take military action against Iran because of the threat or the perceived threat or the conveyed threat of Iran developing nuclear weapons. Here, I'll show you the resolution. Have you heard about this?
I haven't heard about that. I did see that the United States Navy sent a couple of cruisers and a destroyer to the area. So another
They
4,000 Marines.
Yeah, that's, I believe they actually have 12 ships, 12 warships in the Middle East now, including the USS Roosevelt, which is an aircraft carrier. So
Yeah.
they've taken up positions there. I don't think they have anything in the Red Sea positioned there right now, though, because that's been very active and attacks coming from the
Yeah.
Houthis, so I don't think they want to be that close. But they're lurking in the shadows over there, waiting.
Hey, they had to do something with the ships that they couldn't convince Turkey to let into the Black Sea.
So here's this resolution, SJ Res 106, a joint resolution to authorize the use of United States armed forces against the Islamic Republic of Iran for threatening the national security of the United States through the development of nuclear weapons. Sponsored by Lindsey Graham. Who else? He's very hawkish. Not passed
Yeah.
yet, but this is what's before the House. So,
Lord help the world if Lindsey Graham became president of the United States.
oh man, he'd want to nuke everything. That guy.
Yeah.
Look, just drop nukes. It'll solve everything. I don't think so. Heck, I was listening to some historic stuff online earlier today, and there was a recorded conversation. It just came up in my feed
Uh-huh.
of Nixon talking to Kissinger, and Nixon trying to convince Kissinger that it might be a good idea to drop a nuke on Vietnam. He said, "You got to think big." It was just one of those recordings from the White House, right? They were just talking about possibilities, right? But my God, if that, even now that sends chills down my spine. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But there they were talking about it.
So I'm seeing in Russian news right now that they're claiming that Iran plans to attack Israel. They've got a Jewish day of mourning. Yeah, and I'm bad at pronouncing these things. Tisha B'Av, August 12th and 13th. So
there's speculation that might be the date.
they're speculating that might be the date. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? See, I've seen posts starting yesterday with prominent Iranian officials saying something was going to happen within hours, and then nothing happened.
Yeah.
Just faking people out, do you think? Or what is that?
Well,
Maybe.
think about last assassination they retaliated against. They came out right away and said, we're going to do this and we're going to do it big. And then it took them a week, 8 days before they actually did it. So I don't know. I think it's, a lot like Dmitry Medvedev in Russia, put him out there and run his mouth and all, we're going to retaliate. But, then the calmer heads prevail.
And have you seen this video from Iran? Well, I say, have you seen it? And I'm not showing it to you. You're like, I don't know, maybe. But this one here, this video, I guess it has been running on Iranian state television as well as online. Let's take a look at this. I have to, before I run it, I have to tell you, this one is making me chuckle. What? Where did all those planes come from? It's just like,
most of those look like U.S. planes.
Well, that's exactly right. It's like with this. It looks like a scene out of Independence Day, or the movie. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's 100% real for sure, right? No, I don't think so. And what they're trying to make it look like their Air Force is. They don't have their own planes, so they have to use American planes now, or what the hell is that?
Yeah, and stealth bombers on top of it all.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that. Like, I don't think that they have those in the Iranian Air Force.
Yeah, I doubt it.
What is this? What is that?
Looks like some old B-52s or something.
Yes. Yeah.
They could have those, maybe they got them from Afghanistan. Maybe they were left behind.
It's just, and yeah, like this is obviously doctored up. I don't think it's artificial intelligence. Maybe it is, but it's, it looks to me like they've just like edited in some additional planes, because if you look, I think it looks like they're duplicating the patterns.
Yeah. And that's some pretty lousy looking planes there.
Mm-hmm. And why would they use U.S. planes? Like, because if that's supposed to be U.S. planes, that would look like one heck of an invasion against Iran. Like, you wouldn't want to be putting that on. So they must be trying to portray it the other way around. In which case, wouldn't they? I think they do have some American planes in their Air Force. I think they have some F-15s. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Do you know? I think they have some American planes, but not those. It made me laugh. I'm sorry. Now Iran's gonna hate me too. Now I'm on their hit list because I laughed at their video.
They have that ward prepared for you at the hospital after all.
The what's that? The what?
The
Oh, yeah, the
insane,
ward. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right. Yeah, up to the psych ward for you, pal. If I went in and talked to the nurse about this conversation we're having right now, they probably would put me up there.
yeah,
Oh, when I tell in my job, I've said to people, I've met lots of politicians and world leaders. I covered Clinton. I covered Bush. I've met the prime minister. I covered the queen. And they're
yeah,
and they look at me and they're like,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
sure you have.
And and
Yeah,
and who is Premier of Canada today?
that's right. That's right. And I'm like, never mind. It's yeah, it's Kevin, maybe I am a paranoid schizophrenic. Maybe it is all in my head. But I swear to God, it seemed real to me at the time.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
you
well,
know, and and look what we do for a good time, right?
that's right. Oh, man. Anyway, well,
Yeah. So
that
I looked
that
I
video was
looked it up
stupid.
here. It says that Iran's Air Force has a large fleet of Grumman F-14 Tomcats.
F-14s, yeah. Yeah. I was pretty sure they had some US planes.
Well, from what we
Uh,
saw in that video, they have more than a large fleet.
well, where do they get that? This is weird too. Where do they get the parts? If they're at war with the US, what do they just call up the US and say, yeah, hey, Amazon, can I
Yeah,
get some spare parts for F-14s? And like,
yeah,
isn't it? It's pretty weird. And I don't know.
yeah,
Wouldn't it make more sense to have Russian planes?
probably.
Yes, you would think so. Uh,
You know,
they break down. They're not going to.
I did see for their airliners how they've been keeping them flying is they uh, get another country to buy scrap airliners from somebody else and then send them to them, make them airworthy, and then fly them to Iran, and they pull the parts off of those. I don't know. I'm looking at Jane's here, and Jane's claims that as of 2019, they're calling them composite F-14s.
Composite.
Yeah,
So what's that? Like you get some parts off an old Chevy Vega or something, and you put a strap the alt. Like what does a composite mean?
that would
Bits
be
and
a good
pieces,
question. I'm seeing
like hot.
composite F-14 slash MiG-29. So maybe they're
Okay.
putting Russian parts on American planes. Who knows?
Oh man. So they're like a hybrid. Um, I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
it's a resto mod. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
I'm
resto mod.
also seeing composite F-14s and F-4s. And I guess the F-4s are US built too, the F-4
Oh man,
Phantoms.
those things are ancient.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so, hey, my Ford is broken down. Let me put some Cadillac parts on it, or put your Honda parts on it.
that's right. That's right. Oh man, an F4 Phantom? That goes so far back. That's like 1960s, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'd want to be going up against a fifth generation fighter in an F4 Phantom. You'd just be gone, gonzo.
Well, maybe they're
Man.
planning to go up against F-35s, which don't stay in the air anyway.
Well, I guess you could say you could look at it that way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have their problems too. So sometimes the older stuff is more reliable.
Yeah.
But one
I don't know.
F-35 functioning properly though would be enough to take out quite a few F4 Phantoms.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and
So
F-5 Tigers. Ooh,
they're
those
old
are
too.
ancient too.
Yeah. Wow. Now, can I ask you, and maybe you don't know, Ukraine is claiming they sunk this sub over the last day, the Rostov on Don.
Well, the
Rostov on
problem with
Don.
the problem with sinking a sub in Rostov on Don is
Mhm.
Rostov on Don isn't on the sea.
Okay, so this is reported even in where did I've seen it in multiple locations. Okay, so here's Reuters, BBC, Politico, Forbes. I think that's the name of the vessel, isn't it? The Rostov on Don.
I don't know.
I'll show you. Here's the Politico. Multiple media outlets, but of course doesn't make it any more true just because more people say it. It just means that they're seeing other people say it, so they pick up on it too. I know how that works. So here's the Politico version. The Rostov on Don vessel was damaged earlier by Ukrainian missiles in September. Says it was sunk. The Ukrainian military said it launched a successful strike against a Russian submarine Friday and damaged an S-400 air defense system in Crimea. And the port of Sevastopol, the submarine of the Russian Black Fleet Rostov-on-Don, was successfully attacked.
Well, I can tell you this. They have not had, I see nothing in the Russian news about this. Um, I'll say this. We had 87 drones last night. I got up this morning over the Black Sea and the Krasnodar territory. So basically the east and west of Crimea, and they were all shot down. So they made an attempt on the oil fields that they claim in this Reuters article. They made an attempt on Sevastopol, but
that's another story actually. So yeah, this is the Rostov Undone. That's one story. You're talking now.
yeah,
You've moved on. You've already moved on
what?
to the next
Yeah,
story.
they're
So here's go ahead.
Russia's claiming the Rostov on Don is a BS story.
They're
That's all
saying
I
it's
can
fake.
tell you. Yeah,
Okay.
but who knows?
Well, that kind of thing is going to come out in the truth will come out one way or the other, because if it's a BS story, then we'll be seeing footage or at least photos of the Rostov on Don that are fresh pretty soon, I would expect, because if it's sunk, it ain't coming out. It's down at the bottom of the ocean in the port there, so unless they can raise it.
Yeah, they're saying that Russian military refutes Ukraine's information about a successful strike
Okay.
on one of their submarines.
So we'll have to give this time.
Yeah, they say the enemy has published satellite images of the aftermath of strikes on Sevastopol and the Morovsky airfield. But they're refuting it. They're saying this is images from 2023.
Okay. So
Because
here's
there's
this.
at Morozovsk, there are traces of a detonation of an ammunition depot, which they say was what was struck in 2023.
So here's Sputnik about that oil depot. Ukrainian drone attack causes fire at oil depot in Belgorod region. The Ukrainian armed forces attacked an oil depot in the Bukinsky urban district using drones. As a result of an explosion, one of the tanks caught fire. Fire crews quickly extinguished the fire. Gladkov said. He said there were no casualties. Meanwhile, Russia's southern Rostov region was attacked by 55 Ukrainian drones overnight. Those must be the ones. Those aren't the ones you're talking about. They're different, right?
Yeah, they're different. Belgorod is
Yeah.
north. They're striking Belgrade region all the time. So
And it says this night the territory of Rostov region was attacked by 55 Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles. As a result of the attack, there were no casualties or injuries. So, but it looks like Sputnik anyway is saying that there was at least one successful hit that caused a fire at the oil depot there.
yeah, like I say, that's way up north. Here's where Belgrade is. So that's Moscow area up over there.
Mhm.
Kind of. You see the itty bitty little piece of yellow off to the very left side. That's us down there. So that's where we had drones last night. And then if you kind of go to the the southeast down there where you get to the yellow again, that's the Krasnodar region. So that's where they tried to strike last night.
Now, I've
I
also
don't know.
heard that Russia has, yesterday I was hearing Russia had launched a lot of drone attacks directly against Kyiv as a response to them bringing in those F-16s. That's another story. I don't know how true it is because I haven't really heard much more about it.
I don't know. The only thing I've heard over here about it is they're questioning if there's really 16 F-16s that have, or 11 F-16s. I've heard different numbers on the Russian side. They're questioning if there even are any in Ukraine. And if they are, they're saying they're only working as air defense.
Yes, and I see footage here, but I don't even know if it's real of these strikes against Kyiv too. I don't know. So I won't show them to you.
Yeah, Brian in the chat's complaining we're talking about military ordnance again. So all I can say to a guy like that is if you don't like what we're talking about, you don't have to watch. But
what's he complaining about? What? I don't understand.
right here.
Dull
Dull debate about military ordnance and weaponry.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian.
Hey, you have to admit, we are human. We have personalities. Boy, do we have personalities. I mean, they're trying to put Rick in the nut house. And everyone knows I'm nuts. Look where I live.
Oh, man. We're just trying to tell people what's going on. That's all. That's all there is. That's all it is.
Or in this case, the fact that we don't know what's going on.
Which is what is going on.
Yeah.
Because nobody really knows what the hell's going on. That's the point.
Yeah.
If you want to make sure that you don't know what the hell is going on, you've come to the right channel.
That's right.
But actually, in truth, we're trying to give you the truth, and not just
okay,
because we're kind of trying to cut through the crap.
I have one that we can get passionate about since he wants human stories. 430 children were taken away from Ukrainian families in European countries. 122 children taken away from parents in Germany, 39 in Poland, 20 each in Norway and Spain. And this is coming from the German National Social Service, Lutzig. And he explained that children can be taken away from Ukrainian parents if their parents loudly scold them on the street or let them go to school alone when they're not yet 10 years old. How's that for a human interest story?
Well, I have to say that I looked at that, and there are other reports saying that that's fake. So I don't know if it's true. I
There
don't know.
you go. You've come to the right place.
I have no idea if that's true. I can tell you, like, okay, there might be some truth to it. The way that you just described it, probably not quite accurate. If I think about the way things are here in Canada, I've seen children's aid take kids away from parents in situations where it's maybe controversial. Should they have done it? Uh, in some cases, no. In other
Yeah.
cases, yes. Right?
Well,
Uh,
well,
and
being a Westerner, one of the
mm,
things that really struck me when I first met my wife, our daughter was 5 years old, and we'd walk down the streets in the middle of Kiev, busy city street, and our daughter'd be, 10, 15 steps behind us, running into stores, and then she'd pop back out again. And I'd say, how can you let her run around back there, not keeping an eye on her and things? So, the Western mentality is little kids need to be protected. Yet
mhm.
what I see there and here now is that little kids like that go back and forth to school by themselves. They run around and play, kind of like we did back when we were little kids, go out and play in the street. So
Mhm.
I can see some of that going on for some of those reasons. Is it as big of a deal as they claim? Who knows? But I do know of a woman who had her young child taken away. Would have been about, this was just a couple of years ago in Germany. She went to Germany after the start of the special military operation. And we first became aware of this because my wife got a notification, um, because of some AI I've got running, that our daughter's picture showed up in Germany. And this woman was passing around pictures of her daughter, claiming that she was the sister of her son that the German authorities took away from her. And how unfair was that they took her son away, and they had no reason and everything. Well, as I dug into it, it turned out the somebody had complained about how she was taking care of the kid. Social services came, picked the kid up, gave the woman a court hearing. She didn't show up to the court hearing. So then she started, beating on social services doors and, making loud noises about things and, uh, being a public nuisance. So they permanently took the kid away. Now, you won't find these videos on YouTube anymore. We complained YouTube pulled them all, but from because they included our daughter's photos in them. We had to prove it was our daughter and not this woman's.
Well,
So strange things do happen. I
well,
would say this is probably blown a little bigger than it actually is.
I suspect so. But on the other hand, Brian, coming back to Brian, he was, very upset about something that just happened on his street a short time ago involving a child who died because of neglect and abuse from a parent. And within that week, there were a couple of other stories that surfaced here in Canada about children's aid not going far enough to take kids away from abusive parents. Do you want to comment on that, Brian, in the chat? You want to give us a thought about that? Anyway, I'll keep an eye open and maybe he'll respond to it, because he actually phoned me about that and we talked about it on this program.
Yeah.
But anyway, these are ongoing things, and I'll tell you, the I do see as well that children are always used as political pawns in the information war. Always. If you want to tug at people's heartstrings and get them on side for your war effort, all you have to do is show that your enemy, they're a bunch of baby killers. That's what you do. Hmm.
You mean like those damn Hezbollah guys, or I mean the darned Hamas guys, or wait, was it the Ukrainians? Oh no, the Russians. Oh, the yeah. This
I mean,
is
it's
the
always
common first
that's
story.
it's
Yeah,
what they
every
always,
war.
every government, every military, that's what they say about the other side.
Yeah,
And whenever there
we
are
didn't do it;
casualties,
they did it. Yeah,
right, that's right. And it's always, it's not just, 13 people were killed, it's 13 people, including 7 children, babies,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So it's always that.
Or a nursery where they unplug the
Hmm.
incubators and 50 children, 50
Right, which
babies.
was complete fabrication. Yep. So that's the way you do it, folks. You
Yep.
talk about the dead children. Post Market says, BS, it's legal human trafficking. The foster family rakes in the cash, not the child. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, I know people say that. CIS, I know they don't have a good reputation, but on the other hand, we just went through a few stories a couple of months ago on the other, just the opposite way around, where they were criticized for not taking kids away, and we ended up with a dead baby in a
Yeah.
house literally across the street from our friend Brian Howell, who watched the whole episode unfold as police showed up, and it made national news here in Canada. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
but
and of course we have the story somebody's, like you say, Poets Market says it's legal human trafficking, and then we get the stories that, they're harvesting organs from them. So, um, you know, where do you go with this one?
well, I try to drill down and get to the truth. And I also know that a lot of the numbers that are thrown around are absolutely bogus because I've researched it. We don't have to get into it here tonight, but um, I've heard people, I've had people on this program spout off with numbers about the numbers of missing children in Canada, right? And I think the number is like they'll say every year 50,000 children go missing in Canada. Well, that sounds horrific. And then they talk about child trafficking, sexual exploitation, organ harvesting, all of these things. The vast majority of those are found
Sure.
right away. They're
Yeah.
runaways, things like that. When I've drilled down and I've actually done the investigation to find out what the actual numbers are, after
A
you
lot more. Yeah.
yeah, after you start to figure out how many of them are found, where they are, what's actually gone on, right? You know what the actual number is and the number of children that go missing, like you can't find them? 50.
Wow.
50 a year, not 50,000. Starts with 50,000, but at the end, it's like 50, not 50,000, folks. But the people who want to get people jacked up, they only give you that first number. 50,000 go missing. Yes, that's true. But when you go down and you find the statistics from RCMP in Canada, you'll find that the actual number that they don't actually find in a given year is 50, approximately 50 every year. That's the real number. That's a big difference between 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. 50,000, somebody moved the decimal point by accident.
mm,
There was a blot of ink on the typewriter ribbon.
not to say that sexual abuse isn't an ongoing problem. It
Yeah.
certainly is. And, exploitation, human trafficking, how you define that, it depends on who you're talking to. And you're also talking about what is sexual exploitation, human trafficking. Does that include maybe like young women that come to Canada because they're coming from war zones, and then they end up in strip clubs working maybe as sex workers. Like, like, so? I mean, it
because
depends,
it's
right?
yeah, because it's where they can get a job and make money under the table.
Yep. Things like that, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff is sometimes rolled into statistics to make it sound like even worse than it is. But it is actually, I mean, it's absolutely a problem. And it continues to be a problem in all aspects of society. It isn't one, in my experience investigating the stuff as a reporter over the years, it isn't just one racial group. It isn't just one religious group. It's across the board. You can start to,
Yeah.
it's low hanging fruit for people who want to spread hate to point a finger at one group and say though that group's responsible for all the child abuse. But you can go through and you can find it in churches, in scouts organizations, sports organizations, other, it's everywhere. It's not isolated to one group. It's a problem across the board. Always has been,
Yeah.
probably always will be.
Yep. We hear more about it now, and it gets blown out of proportion now. Mainly because of, we go back to the propaganda and the spread of news. People want to get their story up there on top of the,
Mhm.
all the other people who are putting out similar stories. So, sensationalism. Let's make it real big. Everyone will watch us. Everyone will view our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, I mean, just down the street, there was a Catholic church. It took years and years and years. There was years and years of abuse that took place in that church. And
Yeah.
it was probably 15 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe 15, that I covered a story there where the victims were now adults and they were going after the church legally, and they won their cases. Huge settlement with
Yeah.
with the church. The priest that was there back when they were children, they used to call him Father Feeler, right? So I mean, it's a real thing, and it's
Yeah.
yeah, horrific stuff. Went on for years and years and years and years, and they kept moving that priest from one church to another, to another, to another, and the settlements were huge. And we still have problems out there in our society. We have to continue to be vigilant and address them. But it's not isolated to one particular group. It's in a lot of different places. And it's
Yeah.
around the world. That's the truth.
Speaking about it around the world and, different places, I saw a report the other day about Dubai, and, the number of, it goes back to the number of women caught in sexual relations. They go there with the uh, draw of big money, working for some rich guy. They get invited there, and they get there, and then, they're told, well, you want to keep getting money, you're going to date this guy, give him what he wants, things like that. Now, is it as bad as they claim it is? I seriously doubt it. Um, it's pretty big Russian tourist area anyway. Women go back and forth all the time.
Mhm.
And
Well,
now you can spend rubles in Dubai.
well, just shows that the U.S. dollar's in decline, right?
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was just a lead into another thing. So
Yeah. Well, the thing with kids here in this country is parental rights. That's the big issue here, because you have, this push for sex hormone therapy for children, you know, and parents are being told here that they don't really have rights. The child has rights. Parents don't have rights. So even in the schools, when children talk to teachers, the teacher might not even be allowed to tell the parent that the child has told them that they're now identifying as, that their little boy is identifying as a girl. or that they even want to engage in hormone replacement therapy, blah, blah, blah. So these are the things that are really top of mind for parents here in this country right now. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad my kids are growing up and I don't have to worry about that as a
Yep. Me
parent
too.
anymore. Yeah.
I was just looking at the Dubai thing because my daughter's been offered a job over there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I didn't see Brian comment anymore in the chat. Did you?
Maybe I offended him. I'm sorry, Brian. You have my apologies.
Nah. He'll get over it. Besides, he was the one criticizing us.
Well, yeah, but hey,
And hey, you know, if diversity is our strength, then you're gonna love this. This is the mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow, at the Caribbean Festival this weekend in Toronto. She's one heck of a dancer. Check this out.
This is Gaia. We are the Toronto Levelers Band of the world. This is Gaia.
yeah, can't beat that.
Okay. I don't know what to say. I didn't go to the Caribbean Festival. That's all I have to say. I didn't go.
Yeah, okay. Well, speaking of good dancers, here you go. Here's another one. Let's shake up the audience a little bit. We have a Kamala Harris ad.
Oh,
You wanna see
really?
it?
I
Yeah.
do. Rock and roll.
She can get bills passed in Congress that'll protect me and you.
Black, white, Latino, Asian, or LGBTQ.
If she could get this country back to where we can stand tall, keeping us safe from harm without building a wall. 'Cause she's a woman, W-O-M-A-N. I'll say it again. She's a woman, K-A-M-A-L-A.
You better.
You needed to see that before he went to bed tonight, didn't you?
What? You know I got my eyes lasered, right? You know I can't believe anything I'm seeing anyway, right?
Yep.
Did I just see what I think I saw?
You saw what you thought you saw. Now go see that nurse again.
So that's what's running against Trump. It's two very clear choices. It's the she just became black against she's a woman. Okay. Well, the choice is very clear.
Sorry,
she was-
you brought dancing up.
Okay.
Like, oh, hey.
What? Oh man, is Trump still speaking? Let me just see here. Maybe just dip in for like a minute. See if this guy's actually still talking. I don't know. Donald, are you there? Or is he done? I think we got something going on here. Hang on. He's in Atlanta, Georgia tonight, eh?
Yeah, is this the one that they're calling him a liar and whatnot out there? I saw
I don't know.
somebody in chat-
This is new. Like this is tonight. Let's just bring some of this up.
I saw somebody in chat saying that
Uh,
they had already some newscaster was saying he was lying.
Activist, and she is the candidate of letting men beat up women in the name of tolerance. But you look at what's happening over in Paris, it will never happen here. I will never let it happen. I will get all males off your daughter's soccer teams and volleyball teams and get them out of your locker rooms once and for all. That's going to be cleaned up, and we will fight to make sure that the LA Olympics protects women and protects girls. I will fully uphold the Second Amendment, and we will protect innocent life, and we will restore free speech in our country. We don't have free speech any longer. And very importantly, I will and this is so, to me, so important, what we've been through in this country, I will secure our elections. Our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, and voter ID. But until then, Republicans must win. We want a landslide that's too big to rig. Too big to rig. If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day, do whatever you want, but you have to vote. And if you want to help us ensure election integrity, please sign up, protectthevote.com, protectthevote.com. So, in conclusion, from Marietta to Macon, from Savannah to Columbus, from Augusta to right here in Atlanta, we inherit the legacy of red-blooded American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and defend our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of America.
Okay. Enough.
Yeah. Hey, now I didn't know this before. I was having a discussion with some guys a couple of days ago about, us being able to vote in the presidential elections in the United States this year. And, I'm surprised Trump isn't all over this one. Of course, he probably doesn't watch my show anyway. But, Americans living in Russia, they have choices to vote here. Now, in most countries, you can go to the U.S. Embassy and vote. The Russian Embassy is closed for everything over here right now, other than emergencies. And getting a hold of them in an emergency is next to impossible. So we can't go to the embassy and vote. If you do get somebody at the embassy, they tell us that we have to go to Poland because Poland is now responsible for the Russian Federation. But one of these guys said, well, I'm from Texas. I can vote online. So Texas has online voting. He can log in, I don't know, using his driver's license or something and, check his boxes and he's voted.
So, but you're not voting because you can't make the trip, right?
Yeah, well, I can get a mail-in ballot or I can go to Poland to vote. And neither of these candidates are worth, a $3,000 round trip ticket to fly to Poland and back.
Well, I said last night what we need is we just need to start over with all new candidates. After that video you just ran, you just proved my point.
A woman.
Man alive, I'll tell you. And I'm seeing tonight reports that there are concerns within the GOP that Trump's choice for VP might not have been wise, and now that Kamala's running, he might not be the best running mate to run against Kamala, woman. And, well, maybe, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, against an Indian woman, a black woman.
Oh, man. You wait. It's coming. She's going to say that she's indigenous, too. That'll happen, too, likely. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What do I think? I don't know. Vance is definitely a better guy to have in a high place than Trump, I think. But we don't know who Harris is going to pick for VP run either. Maybe she'll pick one of these dancers.
Well, it could be. I'm more get Olivia Chow. She's what we need is we've been doing these Maverick midnight matinees. We need to do a version of Soul Train for the midnight matinee and have all
There
the
you
dancing
go.
going on, or
Yeah.
one of those other dancings. What are those other dancing shows that they used to have on all the time? Danny Tario, Dance Fever.
Oh yeah, Dance Fever. I remember that. Oh, us
Oh,
old
man.
guys. Hey.
So they're debating the debate, debating when the debate should be. What- right?
and debating when the debate will be.
Yes. So let's get this straight. Biden and Trump had agreed to debate on September, is it the 4th? 10th.
10th.
Hang on, here's Brian. Okay, you're on the air live.
Hi, Rick. This is Brian Howell.
Well, hello, this is Rick. Brian
Hi,
Howell,
Rick, how
this
are
is
you?
Rick Walker. Over.
How are you
Brian, I
tonight?
apologize if I
And
offended
hang
you.
on. And Kevin, you can't hear Kevin, but he just said he
Okay.
apologizes if I have to convey his messages. He apologizes if he offended you.
Oh, I haven't. I've been flicking back and forth with you and the Trump rally on another feed.
Traitor!
The Trump rally.
You
the Trump rally
traitor!
just finished.
And he missed the
traitor.
human interest story.
Yeah, and we went and got all mushy and humanistic on you. We were telling heartfelt stories because of what you said in the chat. But anyway, what are you calling for tonight? What do you want to say?
I got a quick call from Rimby John,
Uh-huh.
who said.
And
"You've
just
been
remember,
talking about me
you're
for
live
10
on the
minutes."
air. Just so be careful what you say because we're
Yeah,
live.
and he
Okay.
suggested I give you a quick call. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you've
Well,
been talking about me for 5 minutes on the show, and I was watching something else.
Well, we were just commenting on your comment. That's all we were doing. And then we were talking. So then Kevin and I were just trying to come up with something from the heart. I guess
Yeah,
to
well,
satisfy that. What we were really
Yeah,
talking.
I know you're talking about a lot of military ordnance and
Yeah.
weaponry, and how many F-18 fighters and how many platoons of tanks are
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the human story, the personal story,
Sure.
But he
I
missed
as
can,
opposed to
I can appreciate that. You know, we're trying to give people the perspective here because we're what we're dealing with is an escalation of tension and positioning of military assets building up to what could be a massive strike against Israel coming from Iran and Lebanon and Hezbollah. So that's really what that's why we're talking in terms of, numbers and logistics. It's not because we're, not nice people or that we don't feel for the humans, but we're trying to
Yeah.
give people facts so that we can assess the level of risk and what kind of timeline we might be looking at.
yeah. Well, I maybe you can kind of zero in on a personal story somehow.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah.
All yours. What
Oh,
would you like to talk
a
about?
personal take on what's happening in Israel and Palestine, Iran.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
I don't have anything offhand.
Okay. Well,
I'm tired of hearing about equipment, ordnance. I like personal stories.
yeah, I understand.
People identify with other people. Humans identify with humans.
Yeah, that's an effective storytelling technique, of course, to make people, to have a story resonate with people. You certainly do humanize it, as we say. So I appreciate what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And
And I'm plowing through this big report, and I'm around page 600 on this project 2025.
oh yeah, yeah.
Well, what a deadly dull piece of commentary that is.
Well,
comparing it with Trump's Agenda 47 videos and the transcripts from it.
Yeah, well, we'll dig into that another night in more detail for sure. Although I think that the Trump campaign overall has rejected or at least they say they've rejected 2025. He's repeatedly said that he doesn't really know much about it, and yet I think you would agree that it was written by people who are all around him from the Heritage Foundation, and and if you go down the list of people, they're all directly tied to him. So I don't know how.
Yeah, there's no way he could not know it, but
I guess
he's part of it.
Sort of, yes.
15 of his own speechwriters that have compiled his Agenda 47 were involved in Project 2025.
Yeah, so
it's been in the works for several years.
So definitely worth taking a closer look at that, and we will do that another night. What I'm going to do, though, is wrap up with you here, if you get a final thought from you, and then we're going to go back to Kevin, because he's graciously stayed up to do this program. I think it's, about 3 a.m., Kevin, where you're at right now?
Yeah, 3 a.m. And hey, I specifically brought a Kamala Harris political ad for him.
Yeah. He that's right. He brought I don't know if you saw the Kamala Harris promo. You're going to have to rewind and see it. And then we were talking.
No, I haven't seen that yet. I'll take a look at
That's
it.
all right.
And our children's story.
And yeah, we talked about children
my
too.
final thoughts. I mean, you
go
have
ahead.
a tendency to see things in a big picture, big history, big politics. I tend to see things more as a humanist. The good guys, the bad guys, those who've suffered from war.
Mm-hmm.
And I always image on that first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate that. There's certainly a place for it, and I think there's also a place to look at things in a in a way that just deals with straight up facts too, because we also need to make sure that we don't get carried away with our emotions, and we need to look at things in a detached way sometimes to make sure that we maintain proper perspective. So
I've got one question I'd like to ask you.
Yeah.
Are you going to run the DNC live stream?
I might. Yeah, it depends.
In the spirit of fair play, if you ran the Republican convention,
Brian,
I think you should run the Democrat convention.
Well, we just ran the Democrat promo, and I've run lots of stuff with Kamala Harris. Are you suggesting that I'm all in for Trump? Is that what you're saying? You're saying a Trump shiller?
Yeah. Well,
and I'm on my knees.
I'm not too fussy about Trump.
Yeah, I gathered. Yeah. We cover it all around here, and Kamala Harris has had plenty of coverage. In fact, we just sent Dragon off to the high school in Montreal last week to talk about her going to school there, and we heard from some people who were quite happy that we had given that some coverage, and they found inspiration from her having attended high school in their hometown. So we do cover
I think that
things.
deserves a follow-up.
A follow-up. We gave it the grand treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it warrants it, we'll certainly cover it. Thanks for calling in tonight, Brian. Well, I'll chat with you some more later. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay,
we'll talk
take
soon.
care. Bye.
Okay, good night. Bye-bye.
Well, maybe we're going to have to run that Kamala promo again.
Maybe I should do that.
Just for Brian.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it. It was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, bring it back up. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
sure.
entertaining.
Okay. Yeah.
This is what's that RuPaul's Drag Race? Is that the show that they run on CBC here? This is the U.S. version, I guess.
Well, here you go.
She can get bills passed in Congress that'll protect me and you.
Black, white, Latino, Asian, or LGBTQ.
She could get this country back to where we can stand tall, keeping us safe from harm without building a wall. 'Cause she's a woman, W-O-M-A-N. I'll say it again. She's a woman, K-A-M-A-L-A. Woman.
So nobody can accuse you of being strictly pro-Trump.
There you go.
Hey, maybe you should run that, like, every 15 minutes for standard commercial break. Make that
Yes.
your new intro.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
for balance. I don't know. I say a lot of critical things of Trump. I've said critical things of Trump here tonight. Like
Yeah.
how like it wasn't smart of him to say what he said about Kamala Harris becoming black. That's the paraphrase. I don't think that was the exact quote, but
Yeah. And you also asked if he was going to lie again. So, hey.
yeah, there you go. And here I'm also equal opportunity. Here's let's run Joe Biden, not knowing where the hell he's going. This was after he'd greeted the hostages who had just come back. You saw this, right, Kevin?
I
Did
saw
you see
that,
this?
yeah.
And they're saying that he went in. They're claiming that he went in to thank the pilots. I don't think so. I don't think he knew what the hell he was doing. He was like, and they're like,
Probably
Joe.
thought he was flying home. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that plane had just come from Turkey, if I'm not mistaken. So that would be like a one-way ticket to Turkey.
Well, I saw the photos of him hugging hostages, and he looked clueless as to who the people were.
Are you coming out, Joe? Joe, come on out now, Joe. It reminds me of when I was a kid. There was, in fact, there's a place not far from here. You can get ice cream and you can go inside like a train. There's another place where you can go and hang out in an airplane. It's like
You know what I want to know?
cream. Yeah.
To the left of Harris there, isn't that Putin?
Putin? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I'm telling you. Here, back it up a couple of seconds. There's Putin there.
Putin?
Yeah. See, there you go.
Well, you mean way in the background, you mean?
No, the guy right to the left of Harris.
Like standing right beside her.
Yep, in front of the woman in white.
That's Vladimir Putin, is it? Hey, Kevin, you remember?
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
It's okay.
It's like, wait a minute.
They have a room waiting for you next to mine, or they'll just put us in the same room at the hospital.
I know.
So it's fine. There he comes. That's okay, Joe. You come on down now. That's a good boy. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to shake your hand?
There you go, Joe. There you go. I've said some nice things about RFK Jr. too, but I've also said some really critical things of RFK Jr., especially of late. I think that some of the things he's said lately have been just off the wall. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Well,
balanced.
welcome to politics in the United States, right?
Oh, it's just, it's gone, it's nuts now. It was bad before, but this is just, it's just unbelievable. I don't know. What else can you say about it?
I don't know. Let's talk just a moment about this exchange, because I dug into each and every person in that exchange for a pretty in-depth show I did a couple of nights ago, and looked at everybody's background. The exchange was 16-12 in the end, because they say 16-10, but they don't count the two children. But I see a lot of news about Americans don't go to Russia because they're arresting people for no reason. And I have to say that looking into the charges against many of these people, the proof that they had against them, the same things going on both sides.
Hmm.
You know, I don't remember the names of the different ones at this point, but the guy who was in Poland, he was a reporter and he had dual passports. So this is why they accused him of being a Russian spy. Russian citizen, but he had a Spanish passport with a different name in it as well. Now, what actually happened with that is his mother was Spanish, married to a Russian guy. When they separated, she took the kid back to Spain, changed his name to a Spanish name, and he got Spanish citizenship. That's why he had two passports. And he was actually a prominent Spanish reporter for some pretty big Spanish media outlets. And he was on the border of Ukraine in Poland interviewing people about refugees as they were coming across the border in 22. That's when they arrested him. And their proof against him was that he received payments from the Russian Federation government. Well, guess what they actually found out in the end? It was his father, same name, was receiving payments in Russia. And this is the proof that they used against him. They went, whoops, we made a mistake. So you start looking at some of these things where they're saying, you know, on both sides, that there's trumped up charges, people were pawns. One young guy got caught with a USB drive with confidential information on it in Russia. Did he have it? Did he get arrested for it? Absolutely. But was he a patsy? Probably. You know, so you know, people have to think about both sides do what they accuse the other side of doing. You know, some of these guys were arrested in the West just a couple of days before this exchange. They were, you know, Russia, you hear often that Russia does these very quick closed door hearings. They did the same thing to these couple of people. They arrested them a couple of days before the exchange. The quick hearings convicted them, pardoned them, or expelled them from the country, and then used them in exchange. So, you know, it's all about the political power. You know, well, we want some more people to trade so we can get more people.
Didn't have enough inventory.
Didn't have enough inventory. Yeah.
I can't say that I've looked at the names and the backgrounds in all these cases enough to comment really intelligently about it. I know, you know, surface level stuff about Evan Gershkovich. I get uncomfortable when we start seeing these arrests involving people who are said to be journalists. Sometimes I look at people and they don't look like journalists to me, and I don't like it. But
I don't know. The only thing I can keep saying is whether you're a journalist or not, if you break the law of the country that you're in, you're going to go to jail. That includes the United States. You know, I know if I, as a U.S. citizen, go stand outside of a top secret military base or military production facility and I start taking pictures, they're very likely going to arrest me.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. You know, everybody that's a journalist is obviously a spy. You know, I get accused of that all the time. You know, I live in Russia. I'm an American. I'm also a Russian citizen, but I've been accused of being a CIA plant. So
As a journalist, that's why I take exception to people who are not journalists but say they're journalists. I really don't care for it at all because it undermines the protection. It puts
Yep.
journalists in jeopardy, especially when you're going into a war zone or a foreign country that's maybe adversarial to, your home country, it puts you at risk. It makes you instantly suspect. I get it all the time too, right? If you talk to, all you have to do, like me, is talk to somebody on that side, and the people on the other side don't want to talk to you anymore, or they don't trust you. And if I talk to them, then the people over there don't trust you. And then if you're talking to people on both sides, everybody doesn't like you. Or all you do is laugh at an Iranian promotional video for their military, and you're on their death list. Like,
yeah, I hear the drones coming already, Rick.
So that's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. If I travel to the Middle East, I'm doomed. So
yeah, you know, even the guy arrested on the Polish border, you know what his big offense probably was, is he had actually traveled to the Donbass region and reported from there several times. And some European Union nations, that's illegal, you know.
Hey, I wonder, hey, Brian, are you going to buy a Trump t-shirt? You should buy one, because we need to sell more of them to make sure we don't lose money. Buy one of these, Brian. Buy one of these buy the Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt. Here, this is how you can do it.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight for freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are 2 iconic artistic designs to choose from, but there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech, free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeeks.tv.
John, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And not to be purely pro-Trump, coming soon from Rick.
Oh, 'cause she's a woman.
Look for the new t-shirts coming up next.
There you go. John Scotty Rimby is on the line. He just called in while we were running the promo for the t-shirt that Brian Howell is going to buy, because he wants one, doesn't he, John?
Probably not. I'll buy it for him. I'm gonna force him to wear it. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll send you the cash, Rick. Yeah. He's for a Harris girl. Yeah, no, thumbs down. No, he's not welcome in any bar in Alberta, I'll tell you, in the pipeline crew. No thanks.
That's
no
okay.
job. Don't look for a job in Alberta, Brian. No, they're not one for you. If you're not Trump, if you're for Harris, well, it's a no thank you. Yeah, DEI, eh?
Well, we're the whole idea behind this t-shirt was to start a whole thing where we're going to do like a series of moments in like news events that are memorable, right? Memorable moments. So the attempted assassination was a memorable moment. I don't know, maybe the say it to my face Woman Day thing is something to make a t-shirt out of for Kamala Harris. But I don't think Brian would buy a Kamala Harris t-shirt either. Would he?
Probably with my oil money, yeah, probably. and you know, Rick and Kevin Micalici, we love you, my friend. It's the new term is Duck Donald.
Duck Donald.
Duck
Donald.
Duck Donald
like
on
that.
stage. He's going to get shot with another bullet. Duck Donald. Duck.
Well, it could be the other way. Donald Duck. Donald Duck.
Yes. Anyways, 3 comments. Kevin Micalici, my friend, you can't hear me. I'm from Western Canada, my friend, Alberta. We have the 3rd largest oil reserves in the world. I should be dressed up like a Saudi Arabian king, Rick, because I got oil. Kevin, we got the 3rd largest oil reserves in the world. We do. We're good to go. We're good to go. But my friend, your comments about Kevin Mickley, that woman, Dame Edna Everidge, Barry Humphries, who's in heaven now, Sir Les Patterson, you're going to get Dame Edna Everidge, Kevin Mickley, you're going to get a bitch slap in Crimea from heaven. You should have put Dame Edna on. It's all good news. Good news, you know. I love you, Kevin. We love you and Rick. I'm going to send the oil jet to Crimea, and we'll pick up Kevin and his family and you and Chatham. And you got to tour Banff, Alberta, Lake Louise, Calgary Stampede. You're personally invited by me.
Okay, well, you dress up like a royal chic
Well,
with a cowboy hat.
King. Yeah, no. I'll dress up as an oil-rich chic king of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, because I'm oil. Yeah, and we'll bestow to you the Calgary white standard cowboy hats.
I don't know if this is news, but this is entertaining.
It's all good. It's, you know, gentlemen around the world, Maverick News worldwide, it's Western hospitality. That's what it is. We love everybody in Western Canada, and that includes Manitoba, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, which is spring cash.
But East, forget the East. We got to go, my friend.
Okay, love you guys. Love you. And great show, guys. Keep up God's work, and let's remember, my friends, final thought, peace around the world. I pray for peace. The Maverick News family worldwide, we always pray for peace, my friends. Thank you.
All right, thanks, John. See ya. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Well, you know, and I have my cowboy boots and my cowboy hat here. My wife rarely ever lets me wear them because she says it's a costume, Western costume. But hey, I'm there. You send a plane for me, I'll put the boots and the hat on.
Okay. Yeah, John will fire up the Oil Express, and he'll be right over to Crimea. I don't know when, but maybe. I'm excited though to have Brian buy his Trump T-shirt, and then we have to get Brian to wear that on the show.
You also need to get him in a Harris T-shirt too.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah. First one, anyway, whatever. Let's move on.
Hey, I can see this already. The 3 women on the T-shirt with "I am woman" on it.
Could be. Immigration, that's the other thing.
Size only.
Immigration. Let's move on to immigration, because J.D. Vance at that same Trump rally came out and said this in Georgia. I'm pretty sure this was in Georgia just a short time ago, saying this about immigration. I think this is turning into be, I don't know, if one of the top 3 issues, maybe even the number 1 issue heading into both this presidential election and the election in Canada coming up within the next year or so.
Turned Border Patrol into a travel agency for the worst criminals and terrorists all over the world. Now, we have a different message, President Trump and I do. If you're in this country illegally, start packing your bags. You go home in 6 months.
Do you think they'll do it?
No.
I don't think so either.
You know, I could give them the phone numbers of several Russian women in the United States illegally that have been there for years, have sent their children to universities on U.S. public money, and work and collect Section 8 housing, U.S. public money, medical care, U.S. public money, and they've been there for 3 or 4 administrations at this point. So no, I don't think they're going to do anything about it.
Here's Pierre Poilievre, leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, challenging Justin Trudeau for the prime ministership. Probably going to win the next election based on the polling that shows him way out in front at this point. But his base, I would say, pretty conservative. Probably not going to like what I'm about to show you, simply because he's cozying up to the Persian community, which would be basically Iranian, okay, here in Canada. But I wouldn't say that the Iranians living in Canada are sympathetic to the current Iranian government. The Canadian diaspora here is pretty, most of them that I've met are either pretty neutral or opposed to the current Iranian government. Anyway, this is what do they call this thing? This is him. It's called. This is Jump Over the Flames to light up a new beginning of freedom and democracy in Iran. This was in Vancouver, and Nowruz nears a new year lies ahead. It says this is something I really don't fully understand. In fact, I don't really understand it at all, to be quite honest with you, but this is Pierre Poilievre doing it, whatever this is, with the Persian community. And very athletic. I don't know what to make of that, but there you go.
Do I remember doing that as a kid at the campfires, out camping on weekends. Yeah.
Did you did
and
that?
Mother's yelling, "Don't do that, you'll fall in, you'll get burned and die."
Well, right. So he's setting a bad example for children. Shouldn't be doing that. You don't play with fire,
right.
Pierre. I don't know what that picture is about, but I don't know. That's also on the post on Twitter tonight from him. So whatever that is, that's what he posted. And I don't even understand it.
And he's likely to be the next
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister?
Yeah, federal. The premiers are provincial. The Prime Minister is federal.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we'll have a short message for all the new politicians out there.
Do you have a short message?
Мелко, санкции, блокады, совсем забыли правду да фурок. С генетикой героев Ленинграда у нас безмерный болевой порог. Мы все плечо к плечу, когда за нами Тыва, Алтай, Хакасия и Крым. Мы все врага готовы рвать зубами. Мы русские, и значит победим.
Yeah, so remember it.
Okay, I don't want to get on his bad side because when he grows up,
yeah,
he'll give you the old what for if you're not careful. I guess his message is probably directed right here at this dude. Here, I'll show you. The youngster's message is probably meant for this fella right here, Lindsey Graham. Pushes senators to commit to war on Iran if Israel attacked.
Yep.
Right? So it's like, there you go. That little kid's coming for you, Lindsey. Okay, so watch your step, my friend. Oh, man. What else do we have tonight? We're just about through the main stuff this evening. Was there anything that you had that we hadn't touched on yet?
No, I think we've talked about it.
Yeah, let me just check these. Check the rocket attacks. I want to, for all we know, we've been yammering on here about things, and maybe we're already under attack.
Yeah, we've talked about everything I brought up, so.
Well, I just know that things continue to escalate, and at the risk of being logistical and technical and sanitized, without, dealing with it on a humanistic level, I know that, Iran is getting, they've been preparing their missiles. They've been talking about it. They're promising revenge, like using that word, revenge, that worries me. I don't like that at all. That doesn't sound good. In fact, not hearing very much has me very worried. Very, very worried. The other thing that has me worried is U.S. citizens are being urged to leave Lebanon on any available ticket by the U.S. government and the U.K. I know that U.S. dignitaries, government officials, they've all pulled out of Israel as well, as I understand it. So these are the kinds of things that are done when somebody in important places or positions of knowledge knows that something's about to happen. So everything's in place for something major to go down. So we're watching it.
And maybe not. You know, I was sitting over here when all that same stuff went on when the Russia-Ukraine conflict started. Diplomats pulling out, closing embassies, everybody leave the country. So maybe not. It concerns me. Don't get me wrong, but who knows? This sounds a little more serious than that deal did.
Yeah, and we're a little bit further along with the whole Middle East conflict right now, and it continues to spread. So it's more complicated, and yeah, I think that there is a greater risk of actually something major happening. But so far, all quiet on the Middle Eastern front.
Yeah, well, it is middle of the night there, so.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, I think
the Ayatollahs are tucked snugly away in their beds.
Well, visions of missiles dance in their heads. Oh my God! We better wrap it up right about there. I think before
I have
things
to go
get worse.
Take my meds and see the nurse in the morning.
That's right. Yeah, and hopefully the nurse that saw me at the hospital this week is not watching, or I'm in deep, deep, deep trouble. But I'll be back tomorrow night to take another kick at the can, and see if I can get myself into a little more trouble at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. And Brian, buy your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt at freedomreporters.com with a $30 donation or more. And I look forward to having you wear it on the program. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. They're comfortable and high quality.
But okay. Brian, we're going to get you an option with a Harris t-shirt too.
Yes, we will. I promise. Catch you guys tomorrow on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.